I did the clap thing.
Welcome back here, guys, to the CHG podcast.
He's in Texas.
I'm in Texas.
I'm in Texas. We are both currently in Texas.
That's right. I have made the trip down here, literally down here.
To the land of white people.
To the land of whites and Mexicans. I get to say that. You don't get to say that.
I get to say the white thing.
You did, which was why you said it, but then I added the other half.
Why do you get to say Mexican? You're not Mexican.
I'm not.
I don't think it works the way you think it works.
I think it does. If Comedy Central has taught me anything, that's how it works. Minorities can make fun of other minorities, but the whites can only make fun of whites. That's it. That's how it works. Anyways, this is a podcast. Last time we were able to do a podcast in the same room was back in Christmas time.
When he gave me COVID.
When I gave... It wasn't me, I promise.
It was absolutely.
Hey, I got it too. So, all right. It's not like I was just like, here you go, and then just walked off.
It doesn't mean that you didn't give me COVID.
I didn't give it. I didn't even know I had it. Okay.
That's the thing with COVID.
Whatever. Well, you can't say I gave it to you. I didn't even know I had it. Who knows who gave it to you? You know, I'm right next to you. Anyways, guys, welcome to CHG Podcast, where we talk about gaming, gaming news, the industry, what's going on out there. You know, hopefully in a smart and funny way. More emphasis on the funny than the smart. But
who you are.
Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna start this. So nothing's gonna be different. Nothing's gonna change. But it's just we're in the same place. We're doing this out as it was intended to be. So anyways, we're gonna start as we do normally with what we're playing. What were you playing before I showed up and it took up all your time?
So before you got to Texas, because I haven't played shit today.
You haven't done it. Well, I know you haven't done anything today.
So I'm playing a little mix of MLB still.
Yeah, of course.
Need for Speed Heat.
Oh,
yeah.
What got you on that? What got you on Need for Speed?
I mean, I've been playing it since it came out, like off and on.
Oh, really? You've never mentioned it.
Oh well, I have.
You never mentioned it.
Well, I play it. So
you said you did Forza, Riders Republic, but you've never mentioned Need for Speed.
Yeah, I played Need for Speed, so I've been playing that. Okay. That's been fun. I beat the storyline, so now I'm just grinding out money. So because I want to soup up all the cars.
All of them.
Yeah.
How many are in the game? Like a couple hundred?
Shit ton. Yeah. But I want to get and soup up all the cars, so I'm starting with lowest ones first. And my favorite car and my go-to to win races is a V-Dub Bug with an engine swap. It has 680 horsepower.
No.
This thing is legit. I'm smoking Lambos. I'm smoking Corvettes. I'm smoking everybody. Ferraris, doesn't matter. If it's there, it gets it. I'll have to show you. It's super nice. I love it. But the weird thing. Have you played Heat?
No, I haven't played a Speed game since Most Wanted, the remake.
Okay, so I've been trying to figure out whether this is a glitch in the game or whether it's supposed to be like this. But so I souped up the bug, and it's super loose. I have to get used to it, but it's I mess with the tuning, so I have a little bit more downforce, so it's a little bit more controllable. But if I go into a turn, the back kicks out and I'm sliding. I don't even really have to do the thing to get into drift. If I just turn, it's sliding. But I souped up a GT Golf.
Yeah.
And it will not slide. It doesn't matter what tires you put on it. I put drifting tires on this bitch, and I'm going anything above 120 miles an hour. I just go straight into a wall. I have to hit the handbrake to swing it. And it's also there's a Volvo, an older Volvo that does the same thing. So I don't know I looked up a tutorial. They're like, you just have to live tune it to make it more slippy, and then you have to put road tires instead of track tires on. And I was just it's not working. So that's weird. I've been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland.
Yeah, the Wonder. Okay.
Yeah, it's Borderlands. It's cool because you get to make your own character, which is cool. The classes are cool. The only thing with the classes is that there isn't as many as it seems. So you know how in older Borderlands,
there's only 4 back in the other ones.
Yeah, but each one of them had 3 subgroups, right?
Oh, for your actually for leveling up stuff.
Yeah, for leveling up stuff. So that's your class or whatever.
Yeah.
Or subclass if you want to do that. each class only has one skill tree. So there are I think there's like 8 different ones, but in totality, there's less than a normal Borderlands game because there's less options as far as like how you build out your character.
Okay, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's still really cool. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's funny. Like it's because like it's
Borderlands. I mean, they're always
but it's basically it's Tiny Tina's, the DLC Tiny Tina's, but just an entire game. So she's doing all the crazy stuff like naming things fucking stupid names and like things. Changing it all like as you're going and stuff. Mm-hmm. So like that's what I've been doing. Fun.
That's it for you?
That's it for me.
What
are you playing at your hotel?
I'm still playing this fucking stupid ass Arcania RPG game I talked about before. I don't have a wide breadth of RPGs. I'm not the biggest. I don't have a huge history of RPG games. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt, this is the worst RPG game I've ever played in my life. It is the worst. The worst.
You should have gone all in. I haven't played many RPG games, but this is beyond a shadow of a doubt the worst RPG game of all time.
It is. I mean, for me, I don't know about all time because I'm sure there are worse. But for what I played so far, this is the worst. And this is even factoring the fact that this game did come out in 2010. Even with that, because like Mass Effect came out in 2009. Mass Effect 2, it is, Fallout came out in 2008, and so like, and I played those.
Skyrim
came out a year after 2011. Mm-hmm. But so it's like you factor in that, right? And it's like this is still unacceptable. Like I played it first on easy, and it was fine. I was like, whatever, it's just a quirky little title, whatever. I mean, obviously there's some flaws in this, obviously, but it's just a quirky little whatever RPG's out, right? Kind of more like a C or whatever tier RPG. Mm-hmm. But then I had to play it on the hardest difficulty, and all of its problems showed itself with when you played it on the harder difficulty. They didn't balance this shit out at all. Like, okay, so you can use a bow, magic, or like a melee weapon. All right, you can either do two-handed with no shield or one hand and one shield. But if you run in and you start just meleeing all this shit, you will die instantaneously because it's not like a one-on-one stuff like most like Souls games are usually more one-on-one or maybe one-on-two. Most of the time they kind of share like Neo, or it's like they don't really throw too many enemies at you at one time. A lot of the time, this game just shows out just swarms at you all the time. You're rarely ever fighting one person one thing at a time. It's usually like 3 or 4 or 7 things at a time, and so it's like you can't run into that with a melee. You're gonna die. It doesn't matter how you've been trying to build your character, whether you're going for like just more physical, because there's no defense. It's just armor. And armor is based on what you put on your guy, but you can only put on stuff like early game is like it's rough because like you don't have crazy good shit, so it's like you only work with that and and so like you run in with melee, you're gonna get murked. So you are, but like if you didn't start with a magic build from the get go, you will have magic regardless, but your magic will be so shit. There's no point in using it because no matter if you're doing magic, bow or sword, you slow down. Like your moving just slows down in half. Like I would imagine if you were holding like a two-handed sword or whatever, but like doesn't matter what you are doing, you will not move. Like
but
and
it will catch up to you.
You can no, you will slow down even with magic, even though you're not holding anything. You will slow down with magic, even though it's just your hands just turn blue or whatever. Nope.
Just during your casting, or
no, like well, you need to equip it first, but then you cast it. So because the game doesn't let you have all these things, it's not like it's not like I imagine with like let's say Elden Ring, terrible example because these two games just fucking moons apart. Mm-hmm. But like with Elden Ring, like what I've seen, like you'd be holding your weapon, whatever, but you could still do an incantation or something. Right?
Yeah,
like you could or magic or whatever, right? You can still do it while you don't have to sheath your weapon first and then do some other animation to equip incantation, and then you do the incantation.
Yeah, as long as you're holding the thing in the offhand, the thing you cast.
Yes, the casting thingy, right? Casting rod, right? Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
I think that's what. I remember Dark Souls had that too. You had to have the rod equipped. But as long as you have that, you're good to go, right? But like with this game, well, first of all, you don't have that. But it's just like even if you're holding a one-handed weapon and you didn't even have a shield, it's not like you could have one-hand sword and then like having me one hand equipped with spell. You can't do that. It's one at a time. So whenever you're trying to switch to one to other, you have to actually like let go of one and then equip the other, and then you can do spells. But your spells are so weak if you didn't start with a magic build from the get-go. So it's like that's out of the question. So I've been resorting to the bow, but like you find enemies, there's usually always an enemy that can shoot projectiles at you too, and you move so slow that you can't dodge them. And so you're gonna be taking damage no matter what.
Dodge button.
There is a dodge button, but it's just like it's not fluid though. That's the thing. You're thinking of something more fluid, and it's not. And so because like you can like, and also like you can just shoot bows, yes, but you can hold to do more damage, which you want to do. And but it's like a good 2 seconds or so. But if you roll, you got to do it over again. And so like you're never going to be doing any damage if you just keep rolling everywhere. And so like you're kind of pushed. It's like it's just all these things working against you. And it doesn't, but it's not in a fun way. It's just more like you could tell the limits of the mechanics of the game. That's what makes it so difficult and frustrating. And then when you in like magic, but magic from the other people, like the sages or mages and shit like that, they murk you with 2 hits. 2 hits, you're dead. And you're done, son. Just 2 hits. And it's just like you go through dungeons and you're just like you're just going through molasses because you have to save constantly. Because like you'll go through one little battle with a few guys. There's no guarantee you're gonna make it through the next battle with a few guys. And like every enemy has like this thing where like it'll like produce, okay, in fighting games, there's like unblockable attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? These enemies, many of them enemies have like an unblockable attack as well. And they'll have like a green aura around them till they're like winding it up, about to do it. You need to try to dodge. But some, not all the attacks are that easily dodgeable. So it's like you need to either dodge literally the second you see the aura, like half a second, and you're going to get hit even if you dodge. Mm. You're not avoiding it. And you need to figure out which way you need to dodge, because sometimes if you dodge to the left or right, you're going to get hit. Don't know how, but you're going to get hit. Sometimes you dodge backwards, you're still going to get hit. I don't know how, but you get hit. So you got to figure out which way you're supposed to dodge. And it's just like, it's so frustrating. I'm almost done with the game though, because I've been playing this I've been doing this hard mode shit for like a week or so. But it's just like, this game went from like a quirky little whatever to like a frustrating, just not unplayable, but it's just so frustrating and just, it's not fun. It just takes, the fun's all gone. The fun is all gone. And I'm someone who has played, as I've said many times before, so many games on harder difficulties. And some of them end up being just not fun because of like just the way they balanced everything or not balanced everything. But sometimes it works. Sometimes okay, the early game will be rough, but it works. It evens out later on. Like Mass Effect 1 was notorious for that. On the Insanity. When you did ME2, actually, I thought I was stuck on ME2 at the beginning, because like I was put in a spot where like I didn't have much going on, but I would turn around the corner, get dead. And I was like, can I even get past this? But as the game went on, it worked out. I was able to work it out. But like, so some games are tough in the start, but then they even out later on. This game, I think it's now starting to even out, but I'm like at the end of the game. It's like, it shouldn't take as long. I should be at the end of the game to like, for this difficulty to work out. Like you should have the loot you find, well, the armor and like stuff like that, weapons, like they're good, but then when you start to hit people, you're not doing shit to them, but you're still taking tons of damage. And it's just like, I'm pretty far in the game. I feel like this should have been balanced better, right? Like it's just, I mean, I'm not saying you can't have a challenge, but like it's just I never felt like I was ever like really getting ahead.
Yeah.
I never felt like I was really ever getting ahead. But I'm still playing that. I'm almost done with it though. So thank goodness I'm almost done. I should be done by the time maybe not, because we're going to do more podcasts beyond just a week time, but like within a week, by the time you guys see the next one after this, I should be done with the game. I should be done.
And then maybe you can play something you'll enjoy.
I brought along
rare concept.
I just hate my life, I guess. I brought along with me Horizon Zero Dawn with me, because
finally getting around to that game.
Yeah, I'm finally playing a real game. So I should be able to play that at some point while I'm here. So that's gonna be fun. But I also I played this game with Travis on the channel, which will come out eventually. But it's called this indie game called Speed 3 Grand Prix. It's like some indie title. It had a physical release too, though, which is cool. I actually looked up. I was like, did I see this at GameStop before? I wasn't sure. It's so trash. It's so trash. If you see the video, if you see it, then you should definitely take a look at it, because Travis was just like, he's like, this is so bad. And he doesn't play bad games. So when he does play one, it's a huge reaction out of him. because he doesn't play bad games. I mean, smartly. I mean, who does? Who does?
We're not on RJ. So.
Yeah, that's just So
we're not addicted to the trophy grind enough to play shitty games.
Well, I don't know they're going to be bad. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be shit. Oh yeah. Like I don't get off on playing bad games or anything, but I'm just saying it's bad. It's just, but it's fun.
But normal people, we can drop shit because we don't have that need. Like, oh no, I already put this on my main account. Now I got a platinum hit, or I'm gonna freak out like RJ. But
okay, so that's what you meant. Yeah, I can't.
But anyway,
that I can't get away from. But that's all I've been playing. That's all I've been doing. But yeah, so our small little question here. So which is going to lead into our main discussion. But and I told Dave this before, so he actually knows what's coming.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be this podcast is gonna be focused kind of a part 2, a continuation of the Game Pass discussion as far as how it relates to small developers, mainly small devs, but kind of all devs.
And which David loves. David loves Game Pass.
And well, I don't know an Xbox owner who doesn't love their Game Pass if they have it. I'm
like the Game Pass connoisseur. Of this
channel. Be the spokesperson, be our Xbox spokesperson. Yeah. And kind of part 2, because I have some more information about it, which will lead to a better discussion than we had before. But I wanted to ask David, because he's had Game Pass for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, out of all the games you've downloaded and played and tried, which one do you think has been your favorite?
So we're limited to ones that I got from Game Pass.
Yeah, that you downloaded from Game Pass.
Okay, so like Need for Speed, I can't count because that's technically I played it first away from Game Pass, and now it's on Game Pass, and I'm playing it again.
Oh, you're just finishing it up.
Yes. Yeah. So okay. I'll take away that. I would say...
Yeah, you didn't touch it. You might have heard about it, but you didn't touch it until you downloaded from Game Pass.
Yeah, so I would say probably the best game that's been on Game Pass for me was the roguelike with Hades. Hades is by far, I think.
Oh, you got that from Game Pass? Okay, I wasn't sure.
It's still on Game Pass. I think by far it's probably it's probably just one of the best games on Game Pass. Like it's amazing. Sure. And then I just had a ton of fun with it because I love roguelikes. Another good roguelike on it was Neon Abyss. Neon Abyss was really good.
That's a roguelike?
Yeah, Neon Abyss. But it's more true indie. Like it very much feels like an indie game. It very much feels like a lower budget game. But it's a lot of fun. Of course, having MLB on it is great because I don't have to spend $60 on the same game every year, and I absolutely would because I'm an idiot.
He knows it so well. He knows. He's I can't be stopped. I'm sorry. I can't stop myself.
And see, I'm entertained by the stupidest shit. So when the game first came out, they didn't have the new Japanese player that signed with the Cubs, Seiya Suzuki. So I had to go into the created stuff and download a version of him that someone created, but it doesn't look great because it's a created player, and the game doesn't do a good job of making people who aren't white. So Asian, Black people, and Hispanic people all look just really fucking weird.
Really, not Hispanics? Aren't there a good amount of Hispanics?
I mean, yes, but it's just the creation system just doesn't do well.
Oh, for the creation system. I thought we were talking about the in-game.
No. In the in-game stuff, they're great because they do face scans. It looks perfect.
Okay, I was really?
Most of the time it looks perfect. There's a couple of players that aren't good, but anyway, so I was whatever. But then they actually put Seiya Suzuki in the game, and it's been great. I love it. It's it's him.
He's the dude on the special edition cover of the version.
No, that is Shohei Ohtani.
Oh.
Yeah, so Shohei Ohtani's been in the league for a while, but he had his MVP season last year where he pitched really well and hit really well. Seiya Suzuki is a hitter only, and he just signed with the Cubs.
You can be a hitter only, huh? Oh wait, that makes sense. Yeah, of course, everyone hits. Yeah. Everyone needs to hit.
It's the doing both that's the
crazy
thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say if I had to pick one, it would be Hades. It's a game. I don't know if it won Game of the Year, or if it's period has come up yet.
When did it come out? This year or last year?
Last year.
Was it last December?
Something like that.
It may not. Yeah, may or may
but
not.
Whatever. It should have won. It should have won a whole bunch of awards. I don't know if it did. I don't keep up on that stuff that much. But it was amazing. It's so much gameplay, so much gameplay. It's really fun. It's for a roguelike. It's not that competitive, repetitive even. So I just love Hades, and it was on there free. And I think I would have played Hades even if it wasn't on Game Pass. but the fact that I didn't have to like wait and stuff is awesome.
And not pay.
Well, well, I didn't have to pay.
You still don't have to pay.
The service does have a fee, which
Yes.
should be taken into consideration. I do take it into consideration. Like I said, like if I had to pay for this service and my wife allowed me to spend money on video games, which right now she won't. She's over here like
we're at his house, so his wife's like right over there.
No, she would. I'm not, but I shouldn't be spending.
Well, it was like $30, so I mean, she might have let you buy.
She would have let me do $30. But anyway, I would get the Game Pass because it's super worth it, even if it was just for Hades and MLB. But I've gone over that before. So
yeah, have you heard of?
In short, my answer is Hades. If you haven't played it, play it. It's freaking awesome.
I've been seeing these repeated reports coming that they might have just one tier of Xbox Game Pass, like a family's plan or something.
As far as
pricing wise, like I don't know what the different tiers are, but
so
they might get rid of
the tiers right now are Game Pass by itself, console version only. I don't know the price. Game Pass combined with Live, console only, and then there's the combined PC console Game Pass and also PC by itself. I didn't look too deep into it. I just unlike PlayStation, where like one pass has PlayStation 2 games, one pass has whatever games. The whole service, the only difference is PC games and non-PC games, and then whether it's bundled with Live or not. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the PlayStation 1 is always bundled with PlayStation Live, right? Like you can't get a version that doesn't have PlayStation Online.
Oh, PS. Okay, so PS Plus. For the Live.
I don't think there's a version where you can get it without.
So I mean, PS Plus is the standard. That's the thing. So if you got any of them, you'll be getting the online play.
Yeah. So this one, with Microsoft, you could separate if you wanted to.
It's just baked in to all of them. Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't know what I read. I mean, it was something about changing something, and I remember they kept bringing up family plan. Whatever.
Well, okay. So like back when the Xbox was first, I don't know if this is it. Back when the Xbox One was first a thing, and back during the huge kind of screw up of Microsoft during the always online thing, they were going to have a family service thing where like you could have up to, I think it was up to 5 people all on, like, how I can game share with one other person, and so anything we buy is on each other's systems.
Oh, you do that with Ryan, right?
I do it with Brian now.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan is doing it with his son now, so we had to switch. So any game that we buy, like, we could in theory go half-seas on games and buy both of them. It's like that, but up to like 5 people. So if you bought one game, it would be on 5 different consoles. Yeah, 5 different profiles. So that was like the really cool thing about the always online kind of thing, was they were going to be able to do features like that. And without, they were like, either they said they couldn't, or they were like, well, now I'm going to take my toy home with me so you can't play with it. But so that might be it. I have no idea. But anyway, what's yours for your PlayStation Plus and or the free games you get with PlayStation?
Yeah, which most of them are garbage. So it's like,
Xbox actually just canceled that. The last games coming with gold just came out last month, and now they're done with it. Yeah,
which games, I mean, it makes it for honestly, it was
which like, Microsoft did first, by the way.
Anyways, well, that's because PlayStation was just online was free, so there's no reason to. That's why.
True.
That's why, because we came to the game really late. Not till the PS4 happened is when we started actually having a reason to people, but I should get PS Plus.
Yeah.
Like I bought PS Plus with a PS3, and I was like, I think I just did it honestly because Sony. I honestly had no reason not to do it. But man, it's tougher for PlayStation owners because we've been getting like such crap for so long as of late. You wouldn't know, but it's just we might get like one solid game, but that's it. But like, we'll get like a bunch. It's been the same
with games for gold. There's been no good games for gold.
But at least you had the Game Pass though, so it's like, what was even the point of games for gold?
Yeah, I haven't checked it forever. I think I went when I read that they were doing the final one. I went and checked the one for that current month and for the one coming up, and I was just like, oh.
You want me to do what they were?
It was like some. No, it was. So they always do a 360 game,
yeah,
and an Xbox One game,
yeah.
And typically, the Xbox One game is an indie game.
They still are doing that.
Mm-hmm. typically speaking.
Still,
yeah. So
really?
like the 360 game would be a AAA title, and then the Xbox One game typically would be a.
Are you really? They're acting like the Xbox One just came out. Because that's what they do now with like the PS5 game. Because like they're like 2 PS4 games and a PS5 game, but the PS5 games do just something fucking crap.
Yeah.
But even the PS4 games are like sometimes like crap too.
Yeah,
or
true.
they're games that I already have, or it's something that I'm like I wanted to get, but I want the physical copy. I don't want the digital version of it. Like Control. They released Control.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, but I want to
Control's
own
on Gamepass.
But I want to own that. Like, because I know that's the game I want to have.
Yeah.
And so like that's always rough for me too. So it's because there have been some games I've been like, oh, that looks really good, but I'm like, but I already knew I wanted to get that physically, so I don't want to get the download. So it's like I'm always having that dilemma. But I actually got more use out of it with the PS3 when they were doing that for the PS3 offerings, because they actually were, when they first launched it, PS3 was still relevant, and they were actually putting out some bangers for the PS3. And honestly, the first game that comes to my mind is Metro Last Light.
Oh yeah.
I got that from the PS Plus, and I've already said before, I love Metro. The Last Light was actually what got me into the Metro series. What got me into FPSs in a serious sense. That made me look at them beyond just Call of Duty. Like FPSs could be more.
You always use the trash on FPS.
Oh, bro, I was like anti-FPS if there ever was. When I was like boycotting them, I was like, whatever. I'm not one of the bros. I'm not one of those gamer bros who are just about COD and Battlefield. I was like, Dave is a gamer, bro. He doesn't know games. He doesn't know real games.
I did love Battlefield back in the day. And
you do love Battlefield.
Not now.
And you loved OG COD. You loved OG COD.
Yeah, but Black Ops 2
like after Black Ops was out,
is the best Call of Duty.
But then you kind of, from what I understood, you didn't really play much COD after that. You kind of were playing Battlefield. You were more on Battlefield, it seemed.
Yeah, so I went back and forth. I mean, the original Bad Company 2 online was like the first time I'd ever gotten into an online shooter was Bad Company 2. And then Battlefield 3 came out. I was into that. But then Call of Duty. So like I would play Battlefield for a really long time because Battlefield would come out first, and I would play Battlefield, and then the new Call of Duty would come out, and I would play it. And if I was really liking it, like Black Ops 2, then it was just all Black Ops 2. But if I wasn't feeling it, then I'd go back to Battlefield, because it was like Battlefield was like a comfort food. Like it was, I knew I could have fun with this, unless of course it was Battlefield 1, which I just could not get into.
But I mean, there was. Okay, like I don't remember. I think Blops 2 came out in 2010. I want to say. I don't know what Battlefield was out at the time.
I think it was 3.
But if Blops 2 was like the last one you really, really played, then like what happened? Like Battlefield 3, 4, 1, and 5.
Well, and also like, I mean, to say that Battlefield 2 is the one I only really played, it's kind of like misleading. I played so much Black Ops 2 that like comparing it to any other game period, like there's only select games I probably played more than Black Ops 2, and it's probably only like Fallout New Vegas,
maybe Skyrim.
Not even Skyrim. I played a shit ton of Black Ops 2.
So you were playing this well after like the next ones were out. You were still on that Blops 2.
No, I would say I would. Well, yes, I also went back to it, especially Ghost. Or maybe Ghost was in between.
I heard Ghost was the wait. I don't know. I think Modern Warfare 3 was out, and then I think Ghosts.
Okay, whatever. But like, no, I went back to it. But like, I played Black Ops so much that I had a KD of 4.5.
You hear that, people?
Like
pro gamer right here.
Like, and not even close. But I mean, compared to like most people's KDs, like. That was better than mine. Like in any other COD, I'm lucky to have a 1 KD, like a positive KD. But I was running for a 4 or 5 month span. I was running a 4.5 KD. I was just on it all the time. Cause like I was out of school. I had no girl, I had no wife. I barely had a job. I was living at home. I just was on COD with my friend Ryan, and that's just all we did.
More or less, he was living the dream.
I mean, I enjoy my life more now, but it was good while I was. It was good while I lasted. But anyway, so you still haven't set a freaking game yet.
I said Metro Last Light.
Oh, you did.
I did. But anyways, I was talking about it got me into like knowing that FPSs could be more than just COD. And that's how we got to that tangent. But it introduced me just a different side of FPSs. That's what got me. And then I kind of led off of that, and I started playing. And I played Bioshock Infinite, and that pushed the envelope even further. So like now I can look at FPSs and like not with any disdain. It's still not a preferred game play style for me. Like I will always go third than first person any day.
Mm-hmm.
But like I can still play. Like I would play Doom. Like that's fine. Any Metro, any Bioshock, I still will never. I'm still not going to play COD or Battlefield or like a series like Wartime, Warzone era kind of like FPS because just not my shit. But I can still play FPSs in general though. Like there's this one game that came out. Oh gosh, Bright Infinite or something like that. Memory. I think it's like
the one that was made by that Chinese developer that was like a really small one.
I think he's a Chinese guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen that. That shit looks nuts. I would play that. Yeah. I play the crap out of that. It was
crazy.
And I played Crysis. I played Crysis 3, and that was fine. And I will play the other ones. It's fine. But it's just like those. But like those main competitive ones, like COD and Battlefield. I think those are like the only really two. But I'm just not. I'm never going to get into them. Never have. Never will. But Metro. Probably best game PlayStation ever gave to me for free. I've had some other ones. I mean, I downloaded Tales of the Borderlands from PS Plus, and that was fun. I think I even got Game of Thrones from there too, the Telltale Game of Thrones, and that was fine. And there's been a few games here and there that I've downloaded, but just a lot of the time I just don't. I either want to get it later physically, or I've already have it, or it's just crap. So it's unfortunately. Yeah, and that's kind of why us PlayStation owners have been clamoring for about a Game Pass or some kind of a substitute for it. Yeah. Because like the PS Plus offerings have just been doo-doo. So just, why can't we just have we will pay you, Sony, more money if you give us more options than the 3 crap games you give us on a monthly basis.
You'll have to review the PlayStation thing when it comes out.
Oh, absolutely. I will. No, I absolutely will. We'll that'll be a whole podcast right there. I will go. I'm going to get the premium. Well, actually, my plan is to get the premium, the highest tier.
Yeah.
But they haven't announced any really. I think they showed. I think they put out a list of like 7 games. Yeah. So like once that bigger list comes out, that'll be my determining factor.
I say this. Okay. Like I know you're going to say no to this because of who you are as a person. But regardless of the games, like you need to buy like one of the, because they're going to do 1 month like trials. Like you need to get the 1 month trial, and so you can see everything it has, and then you can tell us about it.
Why do I have to get why can't I just get the 12?
Because you might not want it, like you were saying. So if there's not enough games for you to get the 12, for you to spend that money, at least get it for a month, so you can look at all, and so you can tell us everything.
Or what I can do is just, because if they don't announce the list before it comes out, the list will be available once it's out, and then I'll just make my determination from there.
But what I'm saying is, regardless of your determination on whether you would get it for 12 months, you should get it for that 1 month so you can tell the people the whole thing, so they can know the whole thing. And then if the 1 month will go out, you can get the 12 month or whatever level you want to get. All right. Tell them about it. Tell them that I'm making sense in his fucking world over here. All right, anyway.
Either way, I'm gonna get the service of some kind. Unless it's absolute shite. I'm not shite. Then I won't get it. But I'm gonna get
shout
it
out to
in
you,
some
British
way. Yeah, absolutely. I think like half our subscribers are British, or half our viewers or whatever are British IP or something like that. Anyway, so move on to the top. So we're gonna transition to the main topic, which is about Game Pass and PlayStation Plus.
And he's on research.
And I actually did research this time because what got me thinking about it again. Can you put that light bulb away, dog? What are you doing?
Fiddler.
So this all started 2 weeks ago when maybe some of you guys saw the article. So Odyssey, what's the game called? Oh, it's part of the Abe's Odyssey series from the old PlayStation 1 series.
So the new one that just
Oddworld, that's the series.
Abe's Odyssey.
But it was, I don't know, it was Oddworld Soulstorm.
Yeah,
so
the new one.
It was released like I think last year or early this year. It was a PS5 game. Well, PS5, I think, and PS4. Either way, it was for PS5. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, it was a free game on PS Plus back in April this year, 2022. And the creator, who I guess is still part of the studio, he never left, the creator of Oddworld, came on record to say that it being on PlayStation Plus was actually devastating for their bottom line. And he gave the reason why, which I'm going to go through here, which is kind of what I wrote. Like financially, it was terrible for them. Mm-hmm. So it was initially supposed to come out in January, but I forget what happened. I think some scheduling conflicts, whatever, went awry. So it came out in April Okay, so that was the first
the
thing.
game itself, or
Like,
on
sorry,
PlayStation?
it being on PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
It was pushed out 3 months. It was supposed to be a free game in January, became a free game in April.
And people already knew that it was going to be a free game in January.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. April 2021, last year. It was supposed to be in April last year.
Oh yeah.
Which this is why this is such a big deal. So last year, I mean, it's not like PS5s are still crazy easy to get, but they were even harder to get last year, right? And so when they agreed to have it on their service, they were expecting like an estimate of like so many tens of, what did they say, like 50 to 100,000 downloads they were forecasting to be downloaded, right? Which they, you know, I'm sure they like planned that and knew like, okay, this is like lost profits, revenues. They're planning accordingly, right? Because even no matter what fee Sony's giving them, it's probably not going to match the potential revenue of what 60 times 50 or 100, whatever, you know, that is.
Yeah, there's nuance there, but continue.
I mean, I'm just assuming because otherwise they wouldn't have said it was a problem. But like, anyways, so they probably forecasted all that out until they could prepare and, you know, be okay with it. But they got pushed back to oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm not reading my notes correctly. This all happened last year, yes, April 2021. It was supposed to be in January of last year, got pushed to April, but it still happened last year. And I guess so. The problem was that they, because the time difference, I guess PlayStations were able to get into more people's hands, right? And they weren't able to properly forecast that. So when what they projected to be 50 to 100,000 downloads of the game ended up being 4 million downloads of the game because of that time. I guess in that time lapse, a bunch of more people got PlayStations, and so it screwed up their forecasting, and they ended up losing out on way more money than they thought they were going to lose out on. And Sony probably didn't change their agreement to how much they would give them.
Yeah,
to be on there.
That lies the problem.
And so because of that, they were like, "Fuck!" But it just made me start thinking again about, you know, putting, you know, any developer, big, small, in the middle, you know, putting it on Xbox or PlayStation as a free title, and what that could do for the viability of that studio. You know, like what repercussions does it have? And so I looked into more of the Game Pass side of things, and I apparently Xbox actually had a during the GDC, the Game Developers Conference earlier this year, they actually had a presentation going through all that shit.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and that's what I shared with you a couple weeks ago when we were supposed to do this.
Yeah.
This podcast, that link was actually linking to that, had like all their slides and shit. So I like looked up their slides, and I sent it to you so you can have you can put like a window or whatever if you want to just take a look. But I pulled some data from it, and so the first bit of information here is that like they according to them, and by the way, this is all internal research.
Yeah, this
so you have to take that with a grain of salt.
Microsoft talking about how great Microsoft is.
More basically. So they didn't quote like, you know, some outside third party doing data on this. This wasn't from like consumer group, I think they're called, or, you know, Forbes or something, right? Some big research facility. It was internally done. So take that as it may. But according to them, they said Game Pass users spend 60% more on games and 45% more on add-ons and consumables, and they also play 40% more games as well. None of that stuff, even regardless of first-party data or not, this makes sense. This bit makes sense because at first I was like, wait, hold on a second. I was like, no, it does make sense because like, especially if some of the games are free.
Yeah. If
some of those games were free, well, I mean, like free to play, but that wouldn't make any sense because why would it be on Game Pass? But like if it was free, it's less money you need to spend up front. So you're willing to transfer that money to like an add-on or something like that.
Yeah, if I had like, it's still, even though you're paying for the service, it still doesn't feel you're paying for a $60 game. So if there's like microtransactions for a game,
yeah,
I would feel more comfortable, spending, $20, $30 that I never would have spent if I bought a $60 game on microtransactions or cosmetics because, well, it was on Game Pass for free, so why not? Like, another thing is they, for MLB, any Game Pass user got 10 free packs of cards for the Diamond Dynasty mode, their microtransaction mode. And so, like, getting that and getting that kind of, like, buy-in kind of thing then makes you want to buy more packs. Like, oh, I got these packs for free. I got the game for free, so I might as well spend, money on packs. See if I can, get the people I want.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't feel like, because especially if you did a yearly subscription or like maybe half a year, you forget, right? That you spent that money. It's already been gone. It's already done, right?
Yeah.
And so like when you're like, you download these free games, it's like, I haven't not been any of this money, but then you're like, oh, I guess I do have some extra money now. Maybe you don't, maybe you do, but whatever. In your head, you think like I'll have this money.
It makes sense that people would think
so. That. Yeah, so they could do it. So I was like, okay, that stuff's fine. But I wanted to bring it up to just for more total view on all of this. So the next thing, which I wanted to ask you about, games on the service are 20% off and DLC is 10% off.
Yeah. So
what was that about? I didn't understand that bit.
I mean, games go on and off the service.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So if a game is going off the service, or while it's on, you have an option to buy it in the store still. So you can buy it for 20% off.
Oh,
so
like buy to really own it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, let's say Hades was going off, even though I don't know if it ever will, because I don't know their deal. It's been on there for over a year now.
Has the game already been out a year?
Yeah.
When did it come? It came out in...
Well, okay, my bad.
Sure?
Not over a year. Whatever. It's been from one gaming year to the next. But like, if it ever were to go off and I was like, oh shit, I want that game. I don't want to not be able to play it. Then I could go buy it for $24.
Let me confirm something. So wait, I thought that... So if a game gets removed off the Game Pass, even if you did download it, you can no longer play it?
No. Yeah.
So it needs to actually be actively part of the Game Pass.
Mm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. So,
okay.
Yeah. So the games go on and off quite a bit. I'm trying to think if there was one that I was playing that then went off. But anyway, yeah. So if while it's on Game Pass, you want to make sure that you when it goes off, you'll still have it. You can buy it for 20% less, and then the DLC is kind of self-explanatory. DLC is 10%.
Okay, I think the DLC makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. DLC is 10% off while that game is on Game Pass.
But that discount's only available for Game Pass owners, though.
True.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
And there's a little in the Game Pass kind of like tab. There's a deals, kind of like how there's a deals for the live or for PS Plus. Yeah, so you go to deals and then you can find deals and stuff like that. They also give you just random shit like there's gifts you get for having Game Pass, and it's things like the free packs for MLB, free skins for certain games that I've seen on there. So like developers can just put, so if developers want you to like think about cosmetics, they can give you a free cosmetic through having Game Pass. And then that kind of opens the door to you buying.
Okay.
At 10% discount.
Okay. Okay. So I think I did some other research from other sources as well beyond just Microsoft's internal data. Mm-hmm. I think this is still from it though. Indie devs that sell, they used pay to play games, which I was like, what's pay to play on a console? Like, what does that even mean?
I mean, there are.
And why would that be on Game Pass? Like, you already what? That was confused. I was like, what's that to do with Game Pass? But it's like devs that sell P2P games see 2 to 3 more revenue growth when put on Game Pass through various revenue streams. But I was like, what kind of game? Like, I was like, wait, you mean free to play? I was like, free to play? I was so confused with what they meant by that.
Maybe free. Maybe it's in the same category. Like, I don't know. Honestly, that stumps me too, because I can't think of any like Warcraft games that are on Game Pass.
I was like, what?
Could be wrong.
Like ESO? Is that pay to play? Like, I'm confused with what that meant.
ESO used to be pay to play, but it's free to play now.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't know they changed it. But is that what they like, subscription based? Because like that's what I was so confused about. Like, okay, like that's what kind of dropped me more. Because I was like, oh, what kind of game is that? Because I was like, okay, everything else made sense though. Like, sees 2 to 3 times revenue growth.
Maybe things like Apex, where it's like the game, like the season passes, but you don't need those to play. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was like, why can't you? Like, what does that mean, Microsoft?
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Not sure.
Like, I was like 2 to 3 times revenue growth. I'm like, but what does the B2B mean? Like,
but those are good numbers,
I guess. But then but again, that made me kind of think about like the internal data part of this. I was like, what does that mean, though? You know what I mean? Like,
it might just be pointless.
So I was like, that kind of seemed like a frivolous detail they just threw out just because it sounded good. I will say the Obsidian was speaking out in another interview from a different source. One thing that I did keep in mind, which I think is very important for PlayStation and Game Pass, right? They said that being part of Game Pass gives them, they were talking about them, but they kind of were trying to bring out to everybody more freedom to be more creative with their games, which I thought was kind of an important point to point out, right? A point to take, because like when you, because and that's what I'm saying, like it depends on if the fee you're getting per your agreement with either Sony or Xbox, whatever, is enough to keep you afloat, right? Because like if you end up with the situation where like you made some out there game, but it ended up being a freaking banger, you might have lost money. You might have lost out on, especially if you're an indie dev, right? Because you could have had. You'll never know if you're going to be the next indie darling, right?
Yeah,
you're going to be the next Hades, the next Celeste.
I mean, I think there's still ways to like even through doing it through Game Pass, there's still ways that a company can benefit from that. Special editions, any other kind of merchandise, stuff like that. But I see your point. Yeah, like if you weren't totally independent, it's like kind of be like when you're part of a label as an artist. Like if you do the independent route, you don't have that support. You don't have those eyes that are on the label.
Yeah.
So you might not get recognized. But if you do pop off, if you do get recognized, then all that money is yours that would have been going to the label. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like the same thing. So like so Obsidian can do something crazy that normally maybe they wouldn't have done because that's not what's in, that's not what we're known for, kind of stuff like that. So who knows if all of our people are going to look at this game, where if they do it on Game Pass, everybody can, like there is a set amount of eyes that will see your game, and because it's free, there's no harm. So like if Obsidian came out with a game and it was like a dating sim game.
All right.
Right? Like I, as an Obsidian fan, would not buy that game. I would not pay $60 for a dating.
Okay, if they're charging $60 for a dating sim, that's the first issue we're into, bro.
You know what I'm saying.
But yeah.
Like, I wouldn't pay $60 for that game. But if it was on Game Pass, I'm like, kind of want to see what Obsidian would do with the dating sim game, and I would absolutely download that game. So like there's that, it frees up the consumer to do things that they never, to participate in things that they never thought they would participate in, play games they never thought they would play. So you can do, I don't know, like I said, be more creative.
No, yeah, it's not. I didn't disagree with what like whoever that was. I forget who it was.
But yeah,
I wasn't disagreeing, but I thought I was like, there's more to that though.
Yeah,
and he's talking from like Obsidian's not. They're not Naughty Dog per se, or Bethesda Software, but they're still good. Like they're still known pretty well. They have a really good track record. They're still very much beloved by a lot of people. I mean, David doesn't know a lot of devs by name, and he knows that one. So that tells you something, right? They're able to. They've hit the mainstream in some way, and so. Like,
but I would say, like I said, a good comparison, I think, is an independent artist as opposed to an artist on a label.
It is
like,
you made a good
exposure versus profit.
To your point though about the special editions, though, like that's still risky, and that's not like a surefire way to circumvent if you lost out on like whatever deal you got with Xbox or Microsoft, because like like what's usually in special editions, right? Like figurine, sometimes other collectibles, right? They have to have someone else make that, right?
Yeah, and
I don't know. It depends on how big the game is, what they're forecasting. At least thousands though of units, right, for each of those. But if the game ends up being a bit of a flop or like halfway through the expectations, they're sitting on all that extra stuff that they can't.
Well, here's the thing: you don't make that stuff until it's good.
Well, why would you make a special edition after game's out? Think about it. It's usually the other way around.
Tons of special editions come out after the game blew up. Think about all these indie games that have blown up. There was no special edition, not a lot. I want to say no.
Oh wait, I know what you're talking.
Yeah, okay, so like it blows up, and then they have a physical release special edition.
The physical release. Right. Sorry,
that's that comes with all that shit.
Sorry, I forgot about the physical part. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. But even then though, because especially with how trends are going, with how people are consuming games, with digital still taking over. I mean, I'm not saying that they do have to track. I mean, like, they'll look at the digital sales and be like, "Oh crap, this blew up, right?" And I would just say they would just need to be really strict about their forecasting because you don't. And even very rare. I mean, unless they undershot it, which that usually is what happens. They undershoot it on purpose so that they don't end up with anything left over. So like they'll only have limited run games will only do 1,000 copies, even if the game did sell like tens of thousands for the physical, only 1,000 because they can't risk this just this sunk cost because they already paid for that, right? They already paid, they can't get they probably can't get it back. And so, okay, but that's a good point then nonetheless. But either way, it just opens up more discussion about like he's talking from the mid-size point of view because like I've heard many times devs of his size
they're owned by Microsoft,
and now they're owned by Microsoft. But like devs of his
regardless,
size,
the money's going to daddy.
I remember seeing other devs that bigger, around the same size or bigger, saying that they wish that they could try something else. Like I don't know what
they're artists.
Like racing devs. I mean, racing games. We like wish we could make like an FPS or something. Like we want to try something else. We don't want to just be the racing guys. And it's just like, sorry, too late. You're the racing guys. Like those games with EA, right? You're the Need for Speed guys. I'm sorry. That's just what you are now.
Probably not gonna be more Need for Speed games.
Visual concepts. You're the NBA guys. I'm sorry. You're the 2K NBA guys. I don't know what to tell you. This is what you do. So I get what he's saying, but I wish I would like to hear. I like to hear that perspective from other, mainly probably smaller devs or AA size devs, to hear if that usually is what happens more often than not, being part of Game Pass or something, or they end up like losing out on missed potential on like revenue and stuff, revenue potential. There we go. This one kind of made some sense though, which we kind of alluded to a few times, but I forget who said this. I think it was the guys from Descenders. It was a bike racing indie game.
Yeah.
And I only knew this because it caused a lot of controversy on PlayStation side because he was talking about it was just really hard to find the game. It wasn't however they did it, it wasn't really searchable. Like they didn't what happened was Sony didn't put it was a brand new game and they didn't like put it on like any kind of front page or like you make it easy to find during its first week of release or anything like that. And the dev, like he tried to do some research on this. He just like, probably was like, let's see if I can find it. Basically doing like what any marketer would do and just realize like, is our product searchable on Google? It's equivalent. Like it's easily searchable.
Yeah.
So, and he did that. And he was, even if you type in the full name, according to him, he said, even if you type in the full name of the title, we're like below like movies and shit and other things. And so he was like, he shot out, not really shot out, but he like called out Sony on Twitter about it and it made the news. Those are what I knew about this, that's what made me think about them. So I looked them up to see if like, there's more about that. But he was talking about, cause it was on Game Pass.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And he said that what he realized, which I think is true, is that it can lead to a greater word of mouth, which is what you were, because like that, because you get more awareness.
Yeah.
Even if you lose out on profit, which I'm sure has happened to some, you get that awareness, you get that extra presence. And you're saying like, effect to those, because like people like you who have it and might play it, because you're like, oh, whatever, I'm just free, right? Well, free. But and you'll tell people who don't have Game Pass that like, yo, you don't got Game Pass, but if you're gonna buy a game, you buy this game. Buy this game. Like I got it for Game Pass. I bought Game Pass, so I got it for free. But like, it's worth the money. It's like so they'll tell you it is worth their money. You basically, essentially, what happens is like you get a bunch of not testers, but like you get a bunch of people who will try out like trials, like a bunch of trials.
Even if it was me and you, right? Like so, like I loved Hades. I loved Neon Abyss. If you liked those types of games, you have a PlayStation. And I would be like, hey, bro, you gotta buy Hades, you gotta play Hades, and then you would go out and buy Hades.
Yeah,
like, yeah. So that's the kind of thing we're talking about.
Yeah, not yet, and it can go across systems too. Like you're just saying, like, if the game is multi-platform, which most of them are, he'll like be like, yo, just get this game on PlayStation, get it on the Switch, get it on Steam, whatever. Well, if you don't have the Game Pass for PC, but get it on computer, get it whatever, right? Get it because I put it on Game Pass. It's great. So like So he basically saying like that word of mouth affects those who don't even have Game Pass, because it basically allows you to be like so instead of like looking up a gameplay video on YouTube, your buddy has already played it for free, and he'd be like, "Yo, just this game is dope, it's dope as shit," like whatever. But like, so it's kind of just so I had more thoughts a week ago because it was fresh in my head about like kind of get more in the more nuanced. Like the one we were getting a little nuanced with Obsidian's comment, but I had more nuanced thoughts last week. But that's what happens when you've been on planes and you're in hotels and you're working and stuff, and it goes away. But some more additional interesting numbers, figures, and comments from not just Microsoft, but also now from more devs talking about it, because it's still a debated thing whether Game Pass is beneficial, not just for Microsoft themselves, but for the devs that become part of it. And it's still, I mean, you'll see a lot of positives, but it is still a bit up in the air. There's still no general consensus yet.
And here's the thing, like, I think that something I realized was there was this big thing when Elden Ring was coming out, and there was kind of this buzz around like, well, is Elden Ring going to be on the Game Pass? And Elden Ring didn't need to be on Game Pass. I think games that are going to be bangers that aren't part of Microsoft's conglomerate of studios now, they don't need to be on Game Pass. There's no reason for them to be on Game Pass. But I think if you're not sure your game is going to be a hit, either you need to do a physical release, normal release first. Try to get all those people that were going to buy the $60 game. Wait long enough to where you won't piss those people off that bought that $60 game, and then put it on Game Pass. Or you go Game Pass first, nix it from Game Pass, then, or it would more than likely be a simultaneous release. But put it from Game Pass on day one, and then take it off 2-3 months.
Do you remember if Resident Evil 8 was put on Game Pass day one?
Not day one, but very shortly after.
Okay, because I don't remember it being...
It might have been even day one.
I don't remember it being day one. I don't think it was.
It was at least very close.
Was it?
Yeah, it was close enough to where, as someone who does not play those types of games,
yeah,
it was still within the conversation that I was like, maybe I should download it and just give it a go.
Nah, it sucks. Sorry. All right, because I was curious about what you said about if your game's comparing, but I'm thinking what? I doubt many devs will know that. To be the banger to the extent of Elden Ring was that sells 12 million copies without being on Game Pass or PS Plus or whatever have you.
I think it's the same kind of thing with what we were talking about with artists. Sometimes you got to bet on yourself, and sometimes you bet on yourself, and sometimes you go broke. Sometimes you bet on yourself and you win, and you can say you to all the labels. Because it's it's a risk.
Your first plan of just release it as normal and then put on Game Pass later. You gotta expect Microsoft to be smarter than be like, oh, so you sniffed on us on the first few months. See what you could do on your own. So now you're come crawling to us. We can give you a worse deal.
You probably would
than you would have got before.
You probably would get a worse deal than if I guarantee you. I don't know. Obviously we don't know the specifics, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was if you release day one with us, here's a day one bonus thing. Here's money that you get because it's day one. But if it's not day one, then you don't get that bonus day one multiplier or whatever it is, multiplier. So there's probably deals in that. It would be, obviously we would have a lot of fun if they ever just release specifics on payouts and stuff. That'd be really cool to go over. But that's my guess.
Microsoft's so goddamn stingy with their numbers.
Yeah, they don't really shit.
We still don't even know how many Xboxes they sold. we still don't know. We're never gonna know.
I know that they sold one.
We still don't even know how
one confirmed sale.
I think the last number we got for the old Xbox X was 35 million.
I don't know.
And I was 1,000 years ago. Ever since then, Microsoft was I'm not telling you shit. So it's I wish we could know, right? Because it's until then, it's Microsoft's gonna be continuing trying to just tell investors and other people no, Game Pass is profitable. It's very profitable. It's
I bet they share. They probably share more numbers with investors.
I'm sure the shareholders know.
Yeah.
But during the investing calls, I don't hear nothing about on their quarterly calls and earnings calls or anything. I'm sure that would have to come up. Would it not come up? Why wouldn't it come up? I would ask about it. Like, you want to know. Like, this is a huge thing. There's like, how many millions of people subscribe to Game Pass now? Like, a lot of people. You know? And so it's just like, you need, these are numbers that I if they ever get released, it's gonna be a fucking, like, not a shit show, but it's gonna be a field day. Like, I don't know if we should even cover it, because, like, it's not gonna be worth it. You're gonna hear like 1,000 people cover it before us. You know, it's like, what's even the point? But yeah, like, so that's the kind of continuation of like additional thoughts. And who knows? Maybe like some months from now, there might be even more revelations to come out about it. We might do a part 3. So I think this is gonna be this is an ongoing conversation.
I think what we might see, honestly, is when PlayStation's comes out, and maybe it does really well, right? Like, maybe it's not. I shouldn't say maybe it's not. Let's say it does really well. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm a Microsoft like fanboy being like, oh, it's gonna fucking suck. I'm not saying that.
You don't even have to be a fanboy. We're not all of us are even like 100% sure it was gonna be great. Like,
if they had come out and been like literally just modeled after Xbox, I'd be like, okay, it's gonna be good. Now, but because they made some of these weird caveats, and I'm just like, that doesn't just sound as good. But anyway, let's say it comes out and it's good. And it's really good. And they're bragging about like, oh, well, we have blah blah blah, whatever, you know. And like, I can see Microsoft being like, and then just like showing how much better and how much more.
If that's what gets them to show their hand,
they've done,
then so be it. I don't. At least they will know. Like, I mean, who knows? Yeah, that might be what it takes. But then again, when Sony, like, on the console side of things, on last generation, when Sony fucking just, Microsoft just stopped. They just stopped.
Yeah,
they just stopped. They just didn't care. Like,
we're not concerned.
We don't care about. We want everyone to be together, and no exclusive Xbox Series X games ever. So why'd you buy $500? For the big machine. No exclusive games for it. It's just everyone to be together, man. So they didn't care. So even if Sony's thing did take off running,
well, that's what I'm saying. If it takes off running, but they are better. I think that they'll.
If it gets to the point where it's better, then maybe. But even if it starts off strong but not better, but just just strong initial numbers.
No, what I'm saying is,
still won't even show.
What I'm saying is, if the PlayStation whatever does really well and they're really proud of it, I could see Microsoft showing their hand and being like, "Oh yeah, you're proud of it, but like, are you this proud of it?"
Like, oh, you had 10 million subscribers. Well, we have a 76.3 million. Like, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. We got the number.
Exactly.
We got it.
But anyway, well, guys, thank you for joining us again. Put down in the comments below what is your favorite game that you've gotten for free on any service. Like, I know, I think Steam does some stuff too. Every now and then.
I know Epic Games does for sure.
Epic Games, stuff like that. Sure. Yeah. So, like, of any game that you've gotten either on a service that you pay for, or, well, I guess they would all be services you pay for. But put down below your favorite game you've gotten for free on a service. Comment down below if you still think that Game Pass is the best thing to ever happen to video games, like I do.
Everyone knows that. Like, I don't care. Okay, from a Sony guy, I don't care because I know there's some Sony guys that watch our shit. You have to admit you would kill someone for a Game Pass equivalent for PlayStation. Like, with the amount of exclusives we have, with the amount of exclusives that we have alone, if you just took the exclusives alone and put that on a PlayStation Game Pass, that would probably fill it up, honestly. Like, yeah. Or if they said they don't want to do that. If not exclusives, I'm talking like the day one laters. I'm talking about like the ones that already happened, right? You put all these exclusives, or just ones that are just closely associated with PlayStation, like Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, shit like that. It would fill the whole list. Yeah. Easy. Like, if you took that with Xbox, it filled the first row. That's all you have.
As of right now,
yeah,
we're fucking coming.
As of right now,
we're fucking coming.
2-3 years from now is going to be. Oh man, Sony! I hope Sony's prepared. I hope they're prepared, gearing up, because this is about to be. When you guys start swinging, you're gonna be swinging, because
Dude, I'm telling you, I feel it in my bones.
No, I'm scared. I'm feeling that storm
New Vegas
coming.
2 or a New Vegas remake. I'm feeling it in my bones. It has to happen.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the storm coming. It's coming. And
it would be like if you went out and you bought marshmallows and you bought Rice Krispies.
Yeah, dude.
And you didn't make Rice Krispie treats. Like, you'd be fucking insane. That it doesn't happen. No one buys marshmallows and Rice Krispies and does not make Rice Krispies treats. Okay, it doesn't happen. Okay, so like that's what Microsoft has with Obsidian and Bethesda. If they don't fucking make New Vegas 2 or a remake for New Vegas, it just can't happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, it's gonna happen.
And they should too.
They absolutely should.
Well, not just because but because and 3 to that matter, 3 and New Vegas combined.
Yeah, for sure.
But because like 4 and 76 have been okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the first good like test of like a proper next gen Fallout game.
Well, like what I think you do is I think you like you said you double remake 3 and New Vegas. You put it out to revitalize the fan base, and then you launch the next one, and it's still I say you launch New Vegas 2. It is okay. You do a collaboration again with Obsidian and Bethesda, so people don't see just Bethesda and be like, I don't know that. But anyway, so
actually, I would have to see Bethesda X Obsidian because then people will be like, all right, Obsidian's in it, all right. Woo.
So let us know what you guys thought about today's episode. If you have any comments down below, leave those. He'll answer them. I probably won't because I'm dead. Bye from Texas.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Subscribe, hit the bell, comment below. Goodbye, everybody.